Amber Wilson doesn't understand all the love for Jamal Murray. Listen to this.
Everyone's doing that. Oh, Jamal Murray, he's unstoppable. Jamal Murray wasn't unstoppable until these playoffs. Like, he took his game up a notch here in the postseason. So why are we doing the whole Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin? They're coming back down to earth, but Jamal Murray's not. I don't understand why that is the narrative. Jamal Murray also took his game to another level.
We've seen it before from Murray. Murray did it in the bubble. Murray had an incredible series against Donovan Mitchell. It was an all-timer. We've never seen this from Caleb Martin.
Well, we haven't seen it from Caleb Martin. We have seen it in the Miami Heat. They got further in that bubble than Jamal Murray and these Denver Nuggets did. Don't forget.
Sensitive.
She switched it up. Amber, you switched it. You were making one argument, and then Joe beat your argument, and you went right to another one. But Amber's a Heat fan.
Yeah. I mean, different team back in the bubble, right?
Yeah.
I mean, guys like Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, like different squad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look.
Her fandom is clearly the driving force, and I respect that.
I don't even know why we keep going back to the bubble with teams. That was so long ago. These teams are not even the same teams anymore. Everybody's so different.
But Jamal Murray, in other words, has a track record. There's some dudes, and we'll see if he can keep it up. Because Jimmy Butler, we could see over time. This dude is different when the playoffs start, and he stays different. Jamal Murray has a track record of doing that so far. It's just not as deep as Jimmy Butler's because he's been hurt for the playoffs last couple of years. But Jamal Murray, as good as he is in the regular season, is an MVP-level player in the playoffs.
I mean, but look at these numbers here. Jimmy Butler averaging 28.5, Murray averaging 27.7. Rebounds, 7 for Butler, 5.5 for Murray. I mean, assists per game, 5.7. I mean, both these players are unbelievable. The interesting part, though, is Jimmy Butler's going to have the assignment of guarding Jamal Murray. And then on the opposite end, he's going to be guarded by Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown. Like, Bruce Brown, 6'4", 6'9.5" wingspan. Like, longer, can get up underneath you. He'll see. So he's going to get a variety of different looks, too. So you need Batman to continue to be Batman and not be that player that he was in games 4, 5, and 6.
Jay, how would it affect him, though, on the other end of the floor when you having to guard somebody like Murray? What does that do for your offensive output when you're going up against the guys that you mentioned on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, he's going to guard Murray, but really he's not going to guard Murray. It depends on how they're going to do that defensively.
He's going to guard Murray, but really he's not going to guard Murray.
Yeah, because I'm going to involve you in the ball screen every time. So, Key, like when people say, oh, like, if you were guarding me in a game, Jay Will gave you 30. Like, well, actually, Jay Will didn't give me 30. He gave our big, and how Miami's going to switch.
I guess I'm referring more to the legs, not necessarily the point total. I'm talking about being able to get around the screens, being able to fight through certain things. His legs, how will that get an active guy like Murray? How does that affect his legs on the offensive end? Now he's got bigger guys and he's got to use his legs to try to do something with on the offensive side of the ball. How does that affect him?
I mean, his shots could be somewhat short. I don't think it really affects him. I think the size more so of Aaron Gordon is going to be the one that affects Jimmy, because Jimmy can get to different spots on the floor. I firmly believe, I think a sweep is on the table.
Mm-hmm. And I said that yesterday. You laughed at me.
No, when did you say that yesterday?
You don't remember me saying that yesterday?
No.
I didn't use the word sweep.
Well, then what did you say then?
That's kind of the whole shooting match right there, Key, is the word sweep.
I didn't say sweep. I said that they're going to play 4 games. Remember I kept saying that?
Yeah.
It's going to be 4 games for Miami.
And why wouldn't you just go all the way and say it's going to be a sweep?
Yeah, I left it for you. I wanted them to attack you, not me.
He wants the Twitter mob to come after you, not him. Is the basic thing.
Jimmy is special. Jimmy can get to certain spots on the floor. He has a very unorthodox game with the way he gets his shot off, too. And, by the way, Aaron Gordon and company, they need to stay disciplined because Jimmy will ball fake the hell out of you. Right? He'll pump fake you. He'll pass fake you. He'll get to certain spots on the floor. He'll make quick reads, and he'll get in his groove. But it is going to be interesting how they guard him. I think you also see Jokic involved in a lot of pick and roll. I do think, though, that at the end of the day, the power and the size of Denver is going to be different.
Yeah, and they also got, when you break down that team, Jokic, their best player, can shoot. Jamal Murray, who's just almost as good as Jokic when it matters most, can shoot. KCP can shoot.
I've never said about any team this team has played with the Miami Heat sweep. You've never heard the word sweep coming out of my mouth with Miami. I may have picked against Miami, but I never said sweep. This
Well,
one
now
I
you're
think is
saying
different.
sweep.
Yes, I'm saying I'm holding a broom in my hand today.
Is it a big broom, a small broom?
It's
Does
a
it get
small
a dustpan?
It's a small broom. Like,
Is it a dustpan with it?
You know why I respect you taking the sweep? At least you're doing, like a lot of people are saying, it'll go 5 or 6 because I've learned to respect the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler. He's shown me that I can't just write them off. So they're kind of like doing the morally upright thing by saying it'll go a few extra games. At least you're here saying, they're going to get swept. I'm on the opposite end. I think the Heat win the series.
In 7?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, because they're not as good, but I think they'll figure out a way to do it. Because I felt exactly the way I'm feeling now when they were playing the Bucks. And I felt the same way when they were playing the Celtics.
I'm feeling the pendulum swing, though. Like, a lot of
In other words, that they would lose, and they taught me otherwise.
Well, now it's like everything's around Eric Spoelstra being a top 5 coach and how incredible of a coach. And that is all deserving. Nobody's talking about Michael Malone, though. Like, people are talking about Jamal Murray. Yeah, they're favorites, but it's like the story now is Miami. And it just plays into how Denver sees themselves, too. They've been the best team in basketball for most of the year, yet nobody really talks about them.
They're the Spurs. They're the new Spurs.
Yeah. Well, they're not sexy, you know? Yeah. And now you're watching. I mean, think about some of the games we've had, even against the Lakers, and you talk about the pelts of Kevin Durant and the likes of going against LeBron James. Nobody's talking about the genius of Michael Malone and the strategy, right? But we're talking about the genius of Eric Spoelstra. So
you see the genius of Michael Malone?
I think Michael Malone is one of the best coaches in the league.
What do you like about him?
The fact that, well, first off, they've allowed this core to stay together. Like, think about what we're having with the Boston Celtics comment, right? Like, break them up, get them out of here. Like, this core has stayed together. They were trying to run Jamal Murray out of Denver last year.
Because of the
he
injuries?
should come back and play. Yeah. He's not, that's what some people in Denver were doing. You're like, stay the course. Even that conversation that Jamal Murray had with Michael Malone about, hey, we're not going to go out and make a trade for you. He's gotten this team to buy in. Aaron Gordon was the guy in Orlando, right? Got paid that big deal. He got him to buy into being a defensive guy, right? Like, think of how hard that is for a guy that was the guy.
Yeah, who was kind of like Iguodala. Not that they're the exact same player, but when you're miscast, you need to be the leading scorer, one of the top 2 scorers on a team. Everyone's like, oh, that guy's not working out in the pros. But then when you get put in the right role on a different team, if you buy in, you get to be Iguodala, and maybe Aaron Gordon gets to have a career like that as an essential part of multiple championships if he plays this
Michael
right.
Porter Jr. having his injury, not being able to play, literally playing with like an AFO, like a foot strap that helps him pick his foot up due to his back injury. Like, there's so much that this team has been through, and it just doesn't feel like the stories, for both teams. Like, I don't want to hate on the Miami Heat either. Like, both teams have stories that are just untold. Like, you're just finding out now about Caleb Martin finding a way to play because J. Cole made a call to Caron Butler.
Yeah, that's
You're just finding that out in the last 2 weeks.
It's a great story. It doesn't even sound real. It's such a good story. All right, look. What does a title do for Jokic? And Eric Spoelstra was considered a mismatch as a coach for Missoula in the last series. But what about now, after what Jay just said about Michael Malone, after Key has this from Vivid Seats?
Baseball is in full swing, so get tickets to all the action with Vivid Seats. Plus, the basketball and hockey heat is heating up. Now's a great time to experience the game. Vivid Seats is proud to be the official ticketing partner of ESPN. From the glass to the stands, Vivid Seats has great ticket prices to all the big games. Every crack at the bat, every dribble down the court, catch it all with Vivid Seats. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats, experience it. Live, homie.
Grady